Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat, and today I am doing a wrap-up, my first wrap-up of 2023. So I am trying something different, and I'm going to wrap up whenever I have read 4 books. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the first 4 books that I read this year. So first up, I read Bad Fruit by Ella King. So this is a very toxic and what's it called? Not parasitic, mutual codependent relationship between a very toxic mother named May and her daughter named Lily. So the mother is dealing with a lot of inherited trauma, and she is absolutely passing that down to her daughter, who is struggling to be the perfect daughter in her mother's eyes, even when her mother's demands are completely ridiculous. And we also have a sister, a brother, and a dad who is a complete enabler of the very vicious mother. So this deals with some of the most unlikable characters I have seen in recent years. You really aren't rooting for anyone. Maybe Lily, because you're really trying to envision her getting out of this horrible situation, but it's just very bad. So the mother is very manipulative and gaslighting and sometimes physically, definitely emotionally abusive towards all of her children. And like I said, the daughter Lily is really trying to be perfect in her mother's eyes. So I think she really embodies like pride if you're going to go with the deadly sins. The mother is envy and wrath. And then the dad is like lust and sloth, because he is like in love with the mother and cheats on the mother, which is something that comes up and causes like a huge problem in the family. But also sloth, because he just never ever stands up for his children, which, oh my God, rage. I was so rage filled about that. I hate when parents don't stop the other parent from abusing children. That is a hot button for me. And then there's a sister who maybe her deadly sins are like greed and gluttony, because the sister wants to consume what the mother gives her for treating her so badly. Like, it's the typical thing where when someone treats you badly, then they want to give you gifts or something to make up for it, and the sister wants to take money and gifts. She's like, well, if I'm putting up with this anyway, I might as well get like paid to do it, kind of thing. And this is just a family that is horribly enmeshed, and there is generational trauma, and there's the discussion of breaking free from the cycle and being stuck in the cycle, and then choosing to stay willingly in the cycle. So I think something that perfectly encapsulates this book is that the mother drinks spoiled fruit. She drinks rotten juice. And I wrote a blooming gone wrong. And so like, it's where when you're young and you're just starting to blossom and bloom, like if your parents are just treating you so badly, so manipulative, so abusive, that something is going wrong and something is like curdling the juice almost. And then she drinks spoiled milk when she grows up, and she's having her daughter prepare the juice for her, and the daughter's also potentially being spoiled in her early blooms. So in the end, everyone in this book needs therapy, and I gave it 3 stars. Books with similar vibes are The First Time She Drowned, White Oleander, and Sharp Objects, both the book and the TV show. So the next thing that I read was What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. So this is a retelling of Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, which I have read and studied, and I have also read Ray Bradbury's Usher 2, which was published in 1950. That's just a fun fact for you if you are looking for another Fall of the House of Usher retelling. That one is included in the Martian Chronicles, which is a short story collection. Anyway, Kingfisher's retelling deals with Lieutenant Easton, who is a trans soldier, and Roderick and Madeline, who are his childhood friends, and they have written saying that they are very sick and to come quickly. So they are the ushers. So when Easton gets there, he brings with him his Batman, who's named Angus, and also there is already a doctor there named Denton, as well as a side character, Miss Potter, who is a mycologist who studies mushrooms. So it is very apparent that his friends are very, very ill. They're sunken in, they have like no color to them, they're super frail, and especially the sister, Madeline, is like just teetering on that edge of death. And as Easton is staying in their like decrepit, crumbling mansion castle, he is like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? And everything is very unsettling and creeping. This book had a very, very, very slow start. This is a slow burn horror, I would say. The majority of the action was in the last third. So if you like it to be immediately action-packed, this won't be for you. Something very interesting in this is that there are extensive pronouns that are used in this world. So va, van for children, priests, and nuns, ta, da for boy, girl, non-child, he, she, el, ella, and kakan, male, female soldiers. So it's talking about how like you wouldn't gender a child. It's quite like not done in society because you're sexualizing them for no reason. And I thought that that was very fascinating. And I wish English would do the same, honestly. I wish that children wouldn't be gendered until the time that they can like choose or pick or not pick. Yeah, I really liked that element, and I wish that that was more common. Yeah, so I overall gave this 3.75 stars. So books with similar vibes dealing with like gross fungus and body horror. I have Mexican Gothic, Bunny, Sorrowland, From the Neck Up, and The Girl with All the Gifts. And then on my TBR, I have The Seep and The Beauty, both which I'm really hoping to read this year. I hope that they scratch that itch of body horror. All right, and the next thing that I read is my favorite that I've read so far this year. It's Dogs of Summer by Andrea Abreu. This is following two girls in like the heat of summer on the Canary Islands, and it's a coming of age, but it is so close and claustrophobically like sticking to them that you just can't help but be pulled in immediately. This is stream of consciousness with no dialogue punctuation, which normally I don't like that, except for the rare cases where the writing is so good, so immersive, disgusting, beautiful, gritty, that I'm just sucked in like immediately, and that was the case with this book. We are following two characters. So the main character who we're seeing everything through is only referred to as Shit by her best friend, Izora. So Shit is like the younger one. She's 9 years old, and she is jealous / in love with her best friend. And Izora is a motherless daughter who is bulimic and also lives with her aunt and nan, and she is thought to have like the evil eye upon her. So it's kind of following their escapades during the summer, and it's just so visceral and so gritty. So some of the stuff that I've written down is, this is written in the pizzicato of Canary dialect, so it's just, there's slang, and it's just it pulls you, it sucks you in. So it's talking about food, like the grilled pineapple and cilantro mojo, the fledgling first love, lust and honest curiosity of youth before experience. There's the crushing summer heat, sweat, trying to get to the beach, just feelings of like stickiness. And they're envisioning and dreaming of going to the beach, but they're never quite making it. Another thing is like they're obsessed with their weight and weight loss, because especially Izora, her best friend, is constantly being told like she's too big, she needs to lose weight, she needs to go on a diet. So Izora is very much the leader, and Shit very much follows with pranks and cursing in chat rooms. But as Izora's like sexual awakening is accelerating and going at a pace that the main character doesn't want to go, she doesn't want to follow, this is leading to really like devastating consequences and fracturing between the friends. So this, I don't want to get into spoilers, but this is about growing and diminishing confidence, autonomy, independence, like the back and forth between absolute best friends, but also at this really crucial time where you're changing from a child to like a preteen, a teenager. Yeah, like I said, the writing is just so evocative, and I really, really loved it. I gave this book 4.25 stars. It's my favorite of the year so far. For similar vibes, I have The Games We Play, I'm Not Scared, and Loyalties. These are all very dark coming-of-age stories that happen to be translated and often set in summer or around school. So check those out, or if you've read those and liked those, this would be for you. All right, and the last one I want to talk about is Out There, a collection of short stories by Kate Folk. So this is dealing with the patriarchy and the impact on women, but in a very non-subtle way. So for instance, the first story, Out There, is dealing with blots, who are male bots that are designed to waste your time and waste your time to get your resources. So they're basically like android men who will take you on dates and stuff long enough to get your information, steal your money, steal your time, and like your sellable goods. They're non-recyclable men. The next story, The Last Woman on Earth, deals with like the overt patriarchy, as there is only a single woman left on Earth. Heart Seeks Brain is about being fixated on women's bodies. And this one was actually my favorite one. So it deals with fetishes about the body. So like having a spine fetish or having a brain fetish. And it's seen, brain fetishes are seen as the ultimate taboo, because in order to fuck with someone's brain, they have to trust you completely. However, as the stories went on, that was my favorite, Heart Seeks Brain. All of the others, I was only giving 2 stars. So I gave a 2, a 2, 3.5, which was Heart Seeks Brain, a 3, a 2, a DNF, a DNF. And so then I decided to DNF this short story collection because the writing was succinct and unbeautiful, unadorned, which is completely fine. One of my favorite authors, Ray Bradbury, writes in that style, but the stories I found were so obvious. There was no subtlety and no like one step into the imagination. The world is very like what it is, and there's no more like secret embellishments or no more extended metaphors. It's very overt. I don't even know. It's such an overt metaphor that, or an overt like message, that it just honestly held no appeal to me. So if you like things opposite of me, if you like unadorned writing and obvious metaphors, this might completely work for you. I liked that it was tackling elements of the patriarchy and often set in futuristic settings. But ultimately, it just comes down to, I think, writing and storytelling. And for me, it just wasn't working. So it was, unfortunately, a DNF. And those are the 4 books that I have finished and DNF'd at the beginning of the year. Please let me know what you are reading, and I will chat to you in another video soon. Lots of love. Bye!